Physical security operations exist to protect people, facilities, and critical equipment from harm, loss, and disruption, and they form the foundation on which many technical controls quietly depend. No matter how strong digital defenses become, physical access can still bypass them if it is not managed deliberately. Servers, network devices, storage systems, and even workstations ultimately live in physical space, and that space must be controlled. Physical security is not about turning buildings into fortresses, and it is about applying proportionate, layered controls that reflect risk and operational reality. When physical operations are disciplined, they reduce both opportunistic threats and deliberate attacks before technology ever comes into play. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to the CISS books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyberauthor.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. At its core, physical security relies on controls that deter, detect, delay, and respond to unauthorized access. Deterrence discourages attempts by increasing perceived effort or likelihood of being noticed. Detection ensures that attempts are observed quickly rather than discovered after damage is done. Delay buys time by slowing an intruder long enough for response to occur. Response completes the cycle by bringing human or automated action to stop the threat. Effective physical security uses all four elements together because relying on only one creates gaps that can be exploited. The balance among these elements depends on facility type, threat environment, and business impact. Locks and keys are among the most basic physical controls, yet they require more management discipline than many organizations expect. A lock is only effective if keys are controlled, issued appropriately, and recovered when no longer needed. Poor key management can undermine otherwise strong controls because lost or copied keys create silent access paths that are hard to detect. Auditing who has keys, what they open, and whether those keys are still justified is essential. Mechanical locks also vary in strength and resistance, so selection should reflect the sensitivity of the area being protected. When locks are treated as managed assets rather than as static hardware, they provide reliable baseline protection. Badge systems extend access control by supporting logging and role-based permissions for facility entry. Unlike physical keys, badges can be enabled, disabled, and adjusted quickly as roles change. Logging adds accountability by recording who entered which areas and when, which supports investigation and policy enforcement. Badge systems also allow differentiation between zones, ensuring individuals can access only the areas required for their role. For these systems to be effective, badge issuance and revocation must be tightly integrated with onboarding and offboarding processes. Without that integration, access can linger long after it is justified. Security guards add a human layer that technology alone cannot fully replace. Their presence can deter unauthorized access simply by making monitoring visible. Guards can perform screening, verify credentials, enforce visitor procedures, and patrol facilities to detect anomalies. They also provide immediate response capability when alarms trigger or incidents occur. The effectiveness of guards depends on training, clear procedures, and communication with other security functions. When guards are integrated into the overall security program rather than treated as standalone staff, they become a flexible and adaptive control. Cameras play a dual role by supporting both real-time monitoring and post-incident investigation. Visible cameras deter some threats by increasing perceived risk of identification.
Monitoring allows security staff to assess situations remotely and respond appropriately. Recorded footage provides evidence that can clarify timelines, confirm events, and support investigations. Camera placement, coverage, and retention policies matter because blind spots and short retention reduce usefulness. Cameras do not replace other controls, but they amplify their effectiveness when deployed thoughtfully. Lighting and physical barriers contribute to security by reducing concealment and restricting unauthorized movement. Good lighting removes shadows and hidden areas where individuals could linger unnoticed. Barriers such as fences, bollards, and walls define boundaries and guide movement toward controlled entry points. These measures are often overlooked because they appear simple, but they strongly influence behavior and opportunity. When lighting and barriers are poorly designed, they create paths of least resistance that undermine other controls. Proper design integrates safety, aesthetics, and security rather than treating them as separate concerns. Visitor management is a critical operational process because visitors, by definition, are outsiders entering controlled space. Recording visitor identity, purpose, and duration creates accountability. Escort requirements ensure visitors do not wander into unauthorized areas. Clearly defined access boundaries limit exposure even when visits are legitimate. Visitor badges or temporary credentials help staff distinguish authorized visitors from intruders. When visitor management is inconsistent, attackers can exploit social engineering to blend in unnoticed. High security areas require layered controls to address higher risk because a single barrier is rarely sufficient. Techniques such as montraps, where one door must close before another opens, prevent tailgating and enforce authentication. Controlled entry points concentrate monitoring and make access easier to manage. Layering ensures that failure of one control does not result in immediate compromise. These designs are especially important for data centers, control rooms, and areas housing sensitive equipment. Layered security reflects the principle that increased value demands increased protection. Asset protection focuses on safeguarding critical equipment even after perimeter controls are bypassed. Secure racks, locked cabinets, and cages prevent tampering with servers and network devices. Tamper-evident seals provide visible indication if equipment has been accessed improperly. Asset-level controls are essential because insiders and authorized personnel may still pose risk within facilities. By protecting equipment directly, organizations reduce the chance that physical access automatically leads to technical compromise. Asset protection complements facility controls by narrowing the blast radius of access. Environmental controls protect availability by guarding against non-adversarial threats such as heat, fire, and water. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems maintain conditions required for equipment reliability. Fire suppression systems protect assets while minimizing collateral damage from extinguishing methods. Water detection systems identify leaks early, preventing catastrophic damage from flooding. These controls may not feel like security at first glance, but loss of availability can be as damaging as data theft. Environmental failures often cascade quickly, so early detection and automated response are essential. Alarm systems provide continuous monitoring of doors, motion, and perimeter conditions, acting as the nervous system of physical security. Door alarms detect forced entry or propped doors. Motion sensors identify unexpected presence in restricted areas. Perimeter alarms alert security teams to attempts to breach fences or exterior boundaries. Effective alarm systems include clear escalation paths, so alerts result in timely response rather than being ignored as background noise. Without defined response procedures, alarms lose their value and become distractions. Maintenance and testing are what keep physical controls reliable over time, because even the best designs degrade without attention. Locks wear out, cameras fail, sensors drift, and access systems fall out of sync with personnel changes. Regular inspection and testing confirm that controls function as intended and that failures are identified before incidents occur. Maintenance also includes updating procedures and training as facilities and threats change. When testing is routine, physical security remains predictable rather than surprising. Physical security operations ultimately combine access control, monitoring, response, and environmental protection into a cohesive system. Locks, badges, guards, and cameras work together to manage who can enter, what they can access, and how activity is observed. Barriers, lighting, and secure areas shape movement and reduce opportunity. Asset protection and environmental controls preserve availability and integrity even when other defenses are stressed. When these elements are maintained and coordinated, physical security quietly supports every other security discipline by ensuring that the space itself remains controlled and trustworthy. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.